basketball isn't easy. All my life, I've been striving to make myself better. It's a full-time commitment. To be the best, you have to work the hardest. You have to chase what seems impossible over and over and over again. Because giving up is not an option. And when you feel like you've reached your limit, it's only the beginning. That's when it's time to dig deep, to find the courage to push some more. Because if you got the drive, the discipline, and the resolve to do what it takes to make yourself great, then the rewards are endless.
Sports, I'm Damon Bruce, glad to have you with us. Friday Hoops Fest coming up next. It's the Los Angeles Lakers going up against the Boston Celtics. And that's all for now. Time to hand it over to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K Sports crew. I'll be back with more at halftime.
Watching the NBA on 2K Sports with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. This is Kevin Harlan on this Saturday afternoon. On the sideline and coming up later, Doris Burke. A quick check now at the starting lineups for both teams. First for Los Angeles, Nash and Bryant in the backcourt. And holding down the middle out of Central Michigan University, the skilled and ambidextrous 7-footer, Chris Kaman. Then there's Nick Young, and it's Gasol at the power forward. And for the Celtics, speedy backcourt of Rondo and Bradley. And it's Kelly Olynyk out of Gonzaga, a 7-footer with inside-outside offensive skills. In the middle at center. He's thrilled for this one. Everyone will be watching now how he does in his first NBA official game. And there's Green, and it's Bass in at the power forward position.
Lakers still pursuing another title, but it would be a real shock if that were to come this year. A lot of age and injury on this team. They lose Dwight Howard. This is a club that just doesn't have enough athleticism and speed to contend for a title.
Tip-off goes to the Lakers. Nash outside. Back to Kaman. Nice passing here by Los Angeles. Kobe goes in. Baseline J on the way. That's good. Well, back to the Lakers. Clark, you think they're too old? Is this a team that needs to rebuild?
Not yet, Kevin. The saying is young doesn't win in the NBA. I think for them, health and chemistry are the most important factors. Also, I think this is a franchise that has shown it can make a home run deal, like acquiring Pau Gasol in 2007. Got 2 titles out of that move. I think they'll look to add some youth through their bench and restructure the personnel a bit, and they'll position themselves for another run, perhaps.
Here's Young. Good, and the assist goes to Nash. Los Angeles on D. Down low. Here's Olynyk. Plays up and banks it in.
See the way he times his passes so well. That's a great assist.
And the Lakers with possession here. Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
But Kevin, here's what the Celtics head coach had to say when we spoke just a few minutes ago. We discussed their defensive strategy going up against Kobe Bryant. He said, well, he probably has the best footwork of any player in the game. You can't give him any room in his jump shot, but when he's got all those fakes, it's so tough. Guys, he said he knows Kobe is going to get his points. They just want to try to limit his efficiency out there. Guess we'll see how they do.
All right, Doris, thank you very much. That free throw good from Gasol.
Well, you know, last season I think officially brought the immediate championship aspirations of the Celtics to a close. The 7th seed in the East, dispatched in the first round by the Knicks. The rebuild was on in full cycle.
That one goes. Covered.
3 out of 4 from the floor, so a good start for this club.
Kobe kicks it over to Nash. From deep. No good. Now Boston takes it the other way. And back to the Celtics, making the playoffs, sure, but, you know, not like Steve back in 08 or 2010.
Well, this has been a phenomenal era, you know, with KG and Pierce that is now a thing of the past. But look, they've hoisted a championship banner very close to another, but it's just time to move on. And that's just the way it is in the NBA. These things go in waves, and the Celtics now in rebuilding mode.
It's tipped. And so it looks like the Lakers will retain possession here. Dishes to Kaman. Young outside. Launches it. Knocks it loose.
Just getting on the court last season was a big triumph for Jeff Green, who was forced to sit out a year after undergoing heart surgery. You look at how he progressed over the season, and he got better with each month. Really inspirational.
If you're just tuning in, we played about 2.5 minutes here in the first. Nash outside. Hands the 12-footer. Going back to Jeff Green, the Celtics had to be encouraged to see the way he progressed as last season went on.
I thought last year was good for him. He emerged confidence-wise. He seemed to take on a bigger role in Boston. And I think he started to justify that 4-year contract he signed with the Celtics.
Los Angeles has gone 0 of 2 from deep here. Nash outside. Nash with another miss.
Boy, just by his body language, Kevin, you can tell he thought that triple was going to fall.
Yeah, a little frustrated now, shaking his head after that miss.
And the Lakers making a change here. Hill's checked in. Now about 3 minutes gone in the first quarter. Bradley against Kobe. Outside Rondo. Kicks it out to Bradley. Clock at 6. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Jordan Hill. That's his first foul.
I like the call. I thought the defense was moving there.
Yeah, I think he slid underneath. Good blocking call that trip.
Chris Humphries has checked in for Brandon Bass. The drive by Rondo.
That's his second foul already, and that's going to force him to, I think, tone it down a little bit at the defensive end.
Before his injury last season, it was quite clear that while the rest of the Celtics bunch could still hold their own, this would no doubt be Rondo's team moving forward.
And that one misses. Steve Blake's checked in for Steve Nash. And he can't hit the second. The Lakers trail. He feeds it to Young. Shoots from the baseline. No good on the shot. A bit long that time. And for Rondo and the Celtics, had actually explored trading him in the past. You always hear the rumors he butted heads with Doc Rivers, and they wondered if he was too individualistic. But now they hand him the keys.
Well, he's a tremendous player, Rondo, and a guy who can take over a game. And there have been times when he's been a little moody. We've seen him bump officials. He's gotten suspended. You know, he's gotten into little tiffs with teammates. But I kind of like that feistiness, too, as long as it's channeled in the right way.
And a moment here to take a look at the scoring breakdown for the Celtics.
And the points they're getting in the lane will really help them open up the floor.
Also, what passing we've seen from them here early. I mean, there could be a big number in the assist column if this keeps up.
First one falls for him.
Well, a coaching carousel for the Lakers last season. They made it only 5 games before firing Mike Brown. Then they decided to go in a new direction. And, boy, they went through 3 different head coaches before all was said and done. They never really were able to gain that consistency they were looking for.
And Kobe drops them both. And back to the Lakers' struggles last season. What do you think, Clark, were the main problems that, held them back from being the kind of title contender that they thought they were and a lot of people imagined they were?
Well, how much time do I have? 3 or 4 shot clocks worth? I mean, I think there were a number of issues, as you might expect. Injuries played a significant role, but I think there was discord over how they should play, really no true identity. They were a big team trying to be small, a team without a number of shooters trying to spread the floor, an older team trying to go up tempo, coaching change, and that transition.
Right, yes.
You had a lot of moving parts, and it made it very difficult for everybody, I think, and it showed in how the Lakers' season went.
That's a good assessment. That free throw good from Sullinger.
We saw the promise last season of Jared Sullinger, a wide body with a really high basketball IQ, just very skilled as a passer and a low-post scorer.
And the Lakers making a change here. Farmar's checked in. And so he hits both. And for Jared Sullinger, he may have slipped in the draft, but a great situation, Clark, a lot of people feel for him in Boston.
Could not agree more. I tell you, playing alongside Kevin Garnett, played for Doc Rivers in his first year. I mean, you're going to learn a lot from those two about how to play in the NBA. I think he's ahead of his years as far as his basketball acumen. He's what we call an old head. Really has a nice understanding of the game.
Farmar kicks to Johnson. The feed to Farmar. Pass to Blake. Puts up a 3. That drops.
And he's someone the defense has to keep track of at all times because, even when he doesn't have the ball, he moves so well without it. He's constantly a threat to catch and shoot.
And I also want to point out how good he is at positioning himself defensively near the bucket. He knows how to draw a charge.
Wow, that's 3 in the first quarter, and I think if you're the coach, you've got to think about sitting him down.
Guys, the Celtics went from being a powerhouse in the East to middle of the pack last season, but they still protected their home court as well as anybody. Easy to find inspiration here with the parquet floor under your shoes and the banners hanging over top.
The first one falls. You do have to love the parquet floor here, as you said, Clark. Pride certainly a factor last season as the Celtics were able to finish, Steve, with a 27-13 record here at their home.
And even though the Celtics would end up just as the 7th seed in the East, you knew they would control their home floor just because of their veteran experience, their talent, their coaching. So they were really able to ride that home court into the playoffs.
Last season, an NBA owner, and we won't name who it was, mentioned that the Lakers could potentially amnesty Kobe Bryant. He knew that he is still a top shooting guard and plays like a superstar, but his contract really is up there at almost $30 million this season.
And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Jordan Hill. That will get him his 4th foul of the game, and due to the bonus, we'll head to the line for 2. The Celtics shooting their 7th and 8th free throw attempts for the game right here. First free throw is good. Well, we know the Lakers have got, Steve, a lot of issues with their cap. It's only going to get worse this year and continue to spiral in the wrong direction. There's even been talk among the writers that cover the Lakers about the possibility of amnestying Kobe Bryant.
I can't imagine. I mean, he's played his entire 17-year career here in L.A., 5 championships, one of the all-time great Lakers. But it's a cap question. Do they want to spend all that money for a player who's going to miss a lot of the regular season with that Achilles injury?
Passes it to Farmar. Nice ball movement here by the Lakers. Here's Johnson. Good. And the assist goes to Blake.
Those are the kind of nice inside looks they've gotten in the first half here.
And I think they should really continue to work it down low, Clark. That's really going to free up the rest of their offense.
Now here's Lee. He's been patient so far. Nothing yet on the scoreboard.
They've got to continue to put pressure on the defense by probing inside. That's what's really working for them.
And when you're doing the job they are inside, it takes pressure off the perimeter guys.
He dishes it to Blake. With the floater, Jared Sullinger pulls it in. Sullinger's got his third rebound tonight. Here's Rondo. The shot is off. A free-flowing first quarter. Great scoring through one. It's the Celtics up 4. The second quarter coming up right after this break, so don't go anywhere. And now the second quarter just getting set to start.